What's going on, everybody? It's Carmine from Barmine Tech, and today we're going to be talking about setting up your own WireGuard VPN server on Proxmox. Now, there's a lot of different ways to make a VPN server, and there's a lot of different protocols to use, but today we're going to be focusing on WireGuard, and WireGuard is its own VPN protocol in itself. There are other methods that we have talked about in the past, and we've used WireGuard in the past as well. It's been very popular to use Tailscale lately because it's a very simple SSL VPN, meaning that it just goes over normal web traffic, installs an agent on the computer, and it just connects. It makes it very simple, and there's not much config needed on your side of your network for your router, your firewall, or any port forwarding. WireGuard is going to be a little bit different as it does need port forwarding to work, so that means you are going to need to open up the WireGuard port so it will be able to connect back into your home network. However, by doing this, it does allow you to have more control over the VPN versus with other services like Tailscale. You'll have full access to control the VPN however you'd like. It doesn't proxy through any other servers or anywhere else. It goes directly from your remote connection back to your local connection at your WireGuard server. There's pros and cons of all the VPNs, but today we're going to be talking about WireGuard, how to set it up, and how to get it going in Proxmox, as well as using WG Dashboard to make setup much easier. So let's get right into it. Like I said, we're going to be setting up WireGuard with WG Dashboard. So this is what we're going to be working with today. This is WG Dashboard. You can see we have our WireGuard config, and we can set up as many WireGuard configs as we'd like. And this portal gives us full access to the entire WireGuard config and setup through here. So this is what we'd be setting up today, as well as the actual WireGuard VPN. To make our setup a lot easier, we're going to come over to the Proxmox helper scripts, as they have a script to install the LXC on Proxmox and make the setup much easier. We're going to come to categories, network and firewall. We're going to scroll down to WireGuard. And you can see it's right over here. Now, a couple things to note. It is updatable, so as new updates are released for either WireGuard, WG Dashboard, or any other pieces of it, you'll be able to update it by just using the update command. And typically, the dev team for helper scripts will actually put the change notes over here underneath the script info. A couple other things to note. The default port to access the web portal is going to be 10086. The default user and password is admin. It's a pretty lightweight container, and there's not much to it, so let's get started. So I'm going to just copy the script command right here. We're going to come back to the test environment. I'm going to right click, open up a shell, paste the script in, and click enter. It's going to bring up the wizard to actually install the script, and I'm going to do the default install and click enter. It's going to do the majority of it on its own. It is going to ask us a couple questions for anything we might want to add on, and we'll go through that as it comes up. So like right here, it's asking if we want to update the LXC stack to give us the latest templates. I'm going to say yes. So I'm going to type 1. This might be dependent on the time frame of when you install the script, so you might not have that as well. So just keep that in mind. So at this point, it's going to give us a prompt if we'd like to add WG Dashboard. Now, it's optional. You don't need to. But by adding WG Dashboard, it's going to give us this nice GUI or this web page to be able to actually manage the WireGuard, add configs, and anything else. It's going to make it a lot simpler because doing a WireGuard config through the CLI is a little bit tricky. So I would suggest doing it this way. So I'm going to click yes. I'm going to let this continue to run, and when we have our next prompt, we'll be back. After a couple more minutes, you can see it's all done, and it gives us a URL to access it at. So I'm just going to highlight it, right click, copy. I'm going to open up a new tab. I'm going to paste it in there, and we're going to go over there. Now remember that the default credentials are admin, and we can sign in. And then we can make our own account. So I'm going to make my own account, and you can make this whatever you'd like. Just make it something that you're going to remember so you'll be able to sign in. Right click next. Now it's going to ask if we want to add multi-factor to access the web portal. I don't need it, but you can add it if you'd like, and you could just scan the QR code or add it to any of your authenticator apps. I'm going to click I don't need it because I don't currently need MFA to access the web portal. And over here you can see it brings us over to the dashboard. By default, it gives us one tunnel to work with, so it gives us WG0. But we can add on from there. There are a couple of things that we do need to configure before we go into setting up the clients. And we're going to come over to settings. Over here is the regular dashboard. It's kind of just the generic one, and you can change it as needed. This is going to be more for some overall settings, but nothing really going to tie too much in with your VPN. Over here under pure settings is where we can change a couple of things. So if you host your own DNS server, you could set that in here. So if you would prefer WireGuard to use that when you connect over the VPN, you can set that here. If you want to limit connections, you could do that here in endpoint allowed IPs. I don't particularly do this just because it makes it a little more complicated, and I'd like to be able to access everything. But if you do have a VPN client that you want to make and you only want them to be able to access specific hosts, you could set that through here. Other than that, we need to set this peer remote endpoint. So this is what's going to be your public IP to actually get put into the WireGuard config. So over here, you're going to want to update it with whatever your public IP is, or use a DDNS. I use a DDNS, so I'm going to put that in here. If you don't have a static public IP, there's a couple things you might want to do. You might want to see into doing a DDNS, which I do have a video on if you are interested. Or you can use your regular IP. They don't typically change too often unless you swap gear. Usually there's pretty long leases with the ISPs on dynamic public IPs. Of course, if it does rotate, you won't be able to connect over your VPN, so just keep that in mind. I would suggest the DDNS route. It's very simple to set up. You just put it out to a domain. It's very simple. But now this tab is all set up. One more thing to do is come over to the WireGuard configuration tab. And one thing to do in here is this toggle when startup. So when the container restarts or anything like that, it'll actually turn the tunnel on, and you just want to check that off. You can see it saved our settings. And if you want, there's peer tracking, so you can actually see what your peers that are connecting to the VPN tunnel are doing. So if you would like to log it, you could do that here. I'm going to turn that back off. Other than that, we should be all set, and we can actually make our first client. So we'll come back to home, we'll click on WG0, and in here it's going to have the entire public config for what we need. We can come up here to the top right, and we can click plus peer. Now this is just going to add a peer, so now we can add a name. So this would be my config. If you wanted to give it a specific IP, you could do so here. But other than that, everything's pre-generated. There's really not much to do here, so we're really set. So we can click add. And if you scroll down a little bit, here's that first client. And there's a couple ways that you could do this. You could either download the .conf file, and then you could import that into your WireGuard. You could use the QR code if you want to scan it on your phone. Or you could just see the configuration file itself, or you can share it to a peer. Peer sharing is not currently set up, so I'm assuming you're going to need SMTP or some sort of webhook to do so. I don't have a SMTP server we could use, so we're not going to be able to do this right now. The easiest way to do it is going to be to see the config file. You could just copy and paste this into a text file. From here, you could just hit to save it, so you could do file, save as. And now this is an important part, is that you're going to want to come over here where it says save as type. You're going to click as all files. And then we could do barmind.conf. Now the .conf is important because that's how WireGuard will actually see it to import it as a tunnel. So we can click save. And now in your WireGuard config, there'll be an add tunnel button. And over here, you can just import that. Now you can see over here, it automatically fills the configuration as needed. And you could activate it from here. It won't work for me because I'm local to my network, but we do have one more step before we can test. One thing just to keep in mind, if you ever need to make any changes, you can just come over here and you can click edit. And you could update it as needed. So if you ever need to change DNS, if you ever need to change the public IP or your endpoint or anything else, you could do so by just clicking edit in the actual config. But you also need to make sure that you edit it on the actual config for the tunnel as well. It can't just be on one side, it has to be on both. One thing left to do is to actually do the port forwarding for WireGuard. So it's going to be dependent on your router or your firewall, your gateway, whatever you're using. So I would suggest to look up a guide of how to port forward for whatever network device you're using. And you just need to port forward the port 51820. That's the WireGuard port. And you just need to have it so your local machine, that's the WireGuard LXC container, is forwarded out to 51820 publicly. This will make it so you could actually connect back and forth on the WireGuard server and use your WireGuard VPN. After that's set up, you could actually begin to test and have a remote client connected. I just connected on my laptop, and you can see over here that it's going to show 101 peers are online. And we could actually click on and get some more information. So we can see our data usage. I haven't used a ton. And if we scroll through, we can get a little bit more information on our peers. Now, if we do have more peers for this WireGuard tunnel, you'll see there'll be more down here, and we can see who's online and who isn't. It's a really good tool to visualize how your VPN is looking, who is connected, and roughly what they're doing. But this would be how we could set up WireGuard and WireGuard dashboard to set up a VPN and have a better dashboard to manage it all. So like I said, that's how we would set up WireGuard and WireGuard dashboard on Proxmox using Helper script. It's a super simple setup, and within a few clicks, you could have your own WireGuard VPN working and have remote access back to your home lab or your home network, however you'd like to have it configured. As always, I want to thank you all for watching. I'll see you in the next video, and as my buddy Don would say, hack till it hurts.